Hey, I'm Holly Andrews, Integrative Nutrition Health Coach and Executive Wellness Coach. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the kitchen. It is almost Valentine's Day, which means I have a special meal for two today to share with you just for Valentine's Day. This meal is not only comforting, but it is sophisticated. And that is my feta and spinach stuffed chicken breast with a strawberry balsamic glaze, lemon garlic green beans, and an herb quinoa pilaf for the sides. Now that may sound really complicated, but it really isn't. It's just simple ingredients put together, and it's actually fairly easy to make. So hang in there and let's talk through this. All right, I love a good stuffed chicken dish, and this is just stuffed with feta and spinach. So that alone is going to give you lots of good calcium, protein, vitamin K, vitamin A, vitamin C, and just packed full of really good stuff and tastes amazing. The strawberry balsamic glaze, that's pretty much it. It's strawberries, and I chose to use frozen strawberries for this recipe today. Balsamic vinegar, cooked and reduced down with just a hint of honey added in for a little extra sweetness to contrast the tangy of the stuffed chicken. And then the herb quinoa pilaf, it's quinoa. I chose to use chicken broth instead of water to give it some extra flavor and extra nutrients with some chopped up parsley. So again, super simple. And the green beans, it's garlic, green beans, and a little bit of lemon zest with some salt and pepper. That's it. This recipe is super simple, but packed with nutrition and fiber, protein, good fats from the olive oil that we're using to cook the vegetables and the chicken with. So it is so good. And I've got it right here, but I'm going to walk you through it and let you know how I did it. So the first thing that I got going was the strawberry balsamic glaze. So 1/2 cup of frozen strawberries, 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, got those in a small saucepan, brought those to a simmer over a medium heat, let them reduce down for about 5 to 7 minutes. I think it was roughly about 5 minutes. Now the recipe calls for chopped strawberries, but because I bought whole frozen strawberries, all I did to kind of break down the strawberries was take a potato masher and mash the strawberries to break them up, so I didn't have, chunks of whole strawberry in my glaze. Once that was done, I set it aside for a little bit to cool off, and then added in that drizzle of honey later on. Next up, I chopped up my spinach and my parsley. Got those ready to go. Then I got my chicken going, so I sliced a hole in the thick part of the chicken. Now, I did manage on one of them to cut all the way through, but I just fixed that with a long toothpick. And then I stuffed the chicken breasts with the feta cheese and the spinach, and then used a toothpick, to hold them together. I also got my quinoa going. So the quinoa, it doesn't really matter at which point in this process you cook it, because it will stay warm even after it's done cooking. So I have my 1/2 cup of quinoa, my cup of chicken broth, got that together on the stove, let it, brought it to a boil, then let it simmer for about 15 minutes. Meanwhile, I turned my oven on to 375 so that when my chicken was ready, the oven would be ready for the chicken. So at this point, everything was ready to go. I got a small cast iron pan, put some olive oil in it, brought that up to, about medium-high heat, and then I added my chicken to steer for about 3 minutes on each side. Now, the recipe does say to transfer the chicken to a baking dish, but since I was using cast iron, I just chose to stick the whole cast iron skillet in the oven and save myself a dish to wash. So that went in for 20 minutes. While that was cooking, I got my green beans going. They only take about 7 minutes, so I started them a bit later so that they would finish up right about the time the chicken was done. But I had my trimmed green beans. I got a large cast iron pan going with some garlic infused olive oil. I got a little bit ahead of myself and added the green beans to the pan before I added the garlic, so I just threw in the garlic with the green beans. Let those saute about medium heat for 7 minutes. And then when I went to plate them, I just zested some lemon zest right on top of the green beans on the plate itself. Then I plated my quinoa and finally my chicken and topped that chicken with the strawberry balsamic glaze. And this is what it looks like. So it's a great meal for a nice dinner in. You can skip the restaurants, skip the crazy prices if you want to, and enjoy a nice, comforting but sophisticated dinner at home with your special someone. So I hope you all have enjoyed this recipe. I'll be back next week with another recipe. Until then, happy Valentine's Day. And I'm Holly Andrews. I believe that you can heal your stress from the inside out.